Hi my friends, Suzanne here with Clever Poverty, where we talk about clever tips for tiny budgets. Jack Rudy. Talking to my dog down here. So today I wanted to let you know, I'm all about strategy when it comes to housing. And I found something out recently that I thought, I wonder, I don't think people know about this. So I'm going to put it out there, and it's something that you could consider. I've talked about how to get a suction voucher in another couple of videos. Now, that's the strategy that I used. Because of the pandemic, Jackie's drinking water, sorry, slip, slip, slip. And the housing situation with so many homeless people. There's a new program, a recently new program by HUD, Housing and Urban Development. It's the federal department that handles Section 8 vouchers and oversees that. They're trying to get homeless people housed. So they have made it a priority for public housing authorities. So the housing authority, who is in charge of overseeing Section 8 vouchers at a county level. And that's where that's where the lists are open or closed and that kind of thing. That's at the county level, usually, right? They have given out to public housing authorities, 70,000 of them. I don't know if that's for the whole nation, but I remember seeing that number, 70,000, and they're called Emergency Housing Vouchers, EHV, I think is what they're calling them. If you're homeless, you get top priority to get a Section 8 voucher, even somewhere where the list is closed. Like for instance, in Santa Clara County, where I am, it's a very wealthy county. The list is closed and has been closed forever. But I was able to get around that by doing the strategy that I used, and I talk about how to do that in another video. But for me, that involved 3.5 years. I could have done it shorter if I'd known more then, as much as I know now. But it involved moving somewhere else where the list was open, getting housing there, waiting for the voucher on a short list somewhere where nobody wants to live, and that's why it's open and the list is short. Getting it, living there for the length of the lease, getting on waiting list back here, and then you port it. It's portable. You're able to port it. Once you have a voucher, every public housing authority in the nation and the territories, like the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico and whatever, they have to take you if you already have a portable Section 8 voucher. Well, if you're homeless, you don't even have to do that. You are at the top of the list right now. So if you're somebody who has moved into a van, like a van dweller, if you are thinking about van dwelling because you can't get housing where you want to live, and I'm thinking, especially there's some people who it's just not feasible for them to do what I did. For instance, I'm thinking of a friend of mine she has to get dialysis twice a week, and where I lived, where I was able to get the voucher easily, it's in the middle of nowhere. She would have to drive down scary mountain roads 2 hours each way twice a week to where she could get dialysis. I mean, it's just not feasible. So for her, forget it. But guess what? If she and her husband, this is just an example of someone like her. They have subsidized housing here, so they're fine. But just as an example, if it was somebody like that, if she wanted to get a Section 8 voucher here now without having to move away, and it's not realistic for her or somebody like her, what she could do is move out of your housing, if you're still housed, move out of it. Move into a van. Hopefully you could afford to do that, or a car, even if you just leave it parked. There are so many more new laws about protecting homeless people, giving you the right to make it illegal for cities to say you can't, camp on public property and stuff. The homeless situation is just so bad. They can't just, anyway, that's another video. I'll talk about those laws as well. And as far as, like the knock on the door with the vans, and can they, can they search your van that you're living in? There are new protections for homeless people that's, I think, really good. It's acknowledging that's your home, whether it's a tent or your car or whatever. You don't lose your rights as, it's like you can hear the patriotic music start, but you don't lose your rights as an American because your home is a tent or a car now, right? It just gives me chills. I think that's good that's gotten recognized by the Supreme Court. So, it's just a reality. We just can't pretend that it's not there anymore or that's going to go away. And remember that they are people. No matter what reason that they're homeless. I think I had a bad attitude about homeless people. Like, oh, hobos and bums kind of attitude. And over time, I have learned that, we need to think of them kindly. But you can use this situation by becoming a homeless person. So even if you move into a nice travel trailer, that you're pulling with your truck, or you buy a big fancy van, you are still technically homeless. And HUD does not count assets. Plus, you get a free exemption for your vehicle. And let's say for instance, even that you have a vehicle and it's pulling a travel trailer. You also get an exemption as far as assets go for your home, for a lot of benefits. So my thinking, and I haven't verified this with a lawyer or anything, but I'm thinking, for instance, just as an off-the-wall example, let's say you got a truck and you're pulling a utility trailer. People are turning those into, like little RVs that they're pulling. I bet you could make the argument that this is your vehicle and this is your house. I think you could make that legal argument. Maybe already has. So like the stuff that I've been reading, that looks like that's probably the case. So then you have the rights as any homeowner who's in a house, as far as, search and seizure, knock, and they need a warrant to come in. You don't have to just open your door if they knock on the door. That's another video too, where do you have to answer the knock if you're in a van kind of thing. I've been kind of looking into that because I'm a law nerd, right? So I'm not going to go into details about particular cases and that kind of thing in this video, but I think that this is something that some people there are some people out there who could really use this information as a means of creating a plan. Like, man, let's say, for instance, my friend who gets dialysis twice a week down the street, in the San Francisco Bay Area. She has good health care here, as good as it gets these days, right? But let's say she didn't have affordable housing, and she was trying to figure out how to have affordable housing and be able to get to dialysis twice a week. I know there are people out there, people watching this right now, you're going, yeah, that's me. Well, guess what? What if you moved into a van, okay, and let's say, even if you had it towed, let's say it doesn't even run, but it gives you housing. You probably get tagged, but then if you just have it towed, they don't tow them until there's a complaint. I have kind of looked into that. So let's say you get you have the right in most areas to park it for 72 hours. Then they're in San Jose, especially they're so understaffed with police. There's, I mean, it's a population over 1 million people, so San Jose would be a good place to go do it. And then wait for somebody to complain. So let's say you park on, like a business street where there's no residences who care about who's parking in front of their residence. So park it on, like a business street. And just don't even move it until somebody tags it. I'm just saying, like, worst case scenario, then you've got something over your head. You're not just, sleeping on a bench or trying to put up a tent and hope nobody bugs you kind of thing. You can feel pretty safe inside a vehicle. But then you're homeless, okay? And we're talking even if you have like an $80,000 Mercedes Sprinter van, you're still technically homeless. So if you still qualify for Section 8 housing based on your income, and see, this is where let's say your income with your pension is maybe too much to qualify for Section 8 voucher in a really poor area where the list is open, because it's all based on the median income. So for instance, when I lived way in the middle of nowhere, Northern California, which might as well have been Alaska as far as the weather and everything, in the middle of nowhere, the max you could make at that time was like 30,000. Well, here where I live, the max is like 60,000. Okay, so somebody who makes maybe a little more, and you're thinking I wouldn't qualify anyway, maybe you would, but you wouldn't be able to do it the way I did it, where you go somewhere else where the cost of living index is too low for you to qualify to get that first voucher to port it back, where you would qualify with a higher income level. Heck, just become homeless in a rich county where the cost of living index is really high, and get one of those emergency housing vouchers and get your Section 8 voucher. Bam, top of the list. Doesn't matter if it's closed, if you're homeless, and my understanding on as far as how to do it. So my understanding about how you get one of these, and doing some reading online, is that you have to go through, I was looking at the Public Housing Authority for Santa Clara County, and they I got like an email, like the county email, and they're saying that they have these vouchers available right now for homeless people, and the way to get one is to go through another agency. It's funny, I like to watch Cheap RV Living, the Bob Wells' channel. If you're into the reading about van dwelling stuff, I love that stuff. He had somebody who was talking about this kind of stuff, but at any rate, he was saying you have to go through somebody to get. It was something with a residency. That's what it was, with a Bob Wells interview he did really with this guy who was very tenacious, and he really looked at the laws and found that there were laws that said that they have to let you be a resident even if you're homeless. And in that, where were they? I think that was for Nevada. And all you have to do is go through a social service agency that gives you some kind of benefit, and it can just be like a food pantry where they give you food, and then they can certify that you are here, getting a benefit, and then you can get residency. There's different states can make you provide more stuff to establish residency. But it's not hard to do at all. It can be done very fast. And I mean, like in a day, I think somebody did somewhere else. So, it's a fast thing. And so you could just go to, some social service agency, just say, I'm homeless. I just moved here because I need better weather because of my arthritis. Or I don't think you probably even have to say why. I would wait for them to even ask you. I don't think you even have to say why. Just say, you know, better health care, more benefits, whatever. You have the right to move to any state you want, right? And then so I didn't see anything that said that you get a priority if you can prove that you've been in California longer than somebody else. I didn't see any of that, but you could find, you know, you find that out. So, you know, look at the housing authority websites or call them up and say, you know, you don't have to tell them that you're homeless or not. Just say, what are the requirements for getting one of these emergency housing vouchers based on homelessness, to get the Section 8 voucher based on homelessness right away. And then they'll tell you what to do. You know, like, well, you need to go down to the, you know, sign up for food stamps, or go to the food pantry and get them to certify that you came there and got food or whatever. They'll tell you what you have to do. So that's my understanding, is that you have to get, you know, some kind of agency that's helping you. And I think that's basically kind of to you know, just a minimal proof of residency, shows that you're here, you know, that you're in the state. And then bam, Section 8 voucher just like that. And the thing I wanted to say too, I'm going to do other videos about van life options and things like that. But, you know, even let's say, you know, you want to establish residency for better benefits. California does not tax Social Security benefits, and that's another whole video on like the taxes and stuff. And really, unless you make a lot of money, the tax structure in California for lower income people is really not bad at all. It's very gradated. So, you know, like Oregon's terrible. Oregon is like, anybody from like 0 to a lot pays the same percentage of their income. It's terrible. California is very graduated, so it just goes up a teeny bit more, you know, the more you make. So it's a lot, believe it or not, it's a lot more fair as far as income tax. There's other taxes, of course, but the benefits are really great, and they don't tax your SSI, disability, Social Security, retirement money at all. So, you know, wherever you might want to live for whatever reason, you might be able to do it by actually, if you're not already homeless or living in a van or a travel trailer, no matter its value, make yourself a homeless person. If you've been thinking about it anyway, you know, don't do it and then come back and say, you ruined my life, Suzanne. But, you know, you get the point. You're smart people. So, yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. Way easier than what I did even. And I don't know how long this will last, but I'm going to guess it's not going to go away soon, because the homeless situation is not going away. And everybody's finally acknowledging that and starting to kind of realize they're going to have to do something about it. And I'll talk about some other laws that have changed that have really been helpful, including van dwellers who are trying to be stealthy and stuff. It looks like you probably don't even have to be as stealthy as you've been. So that'll be another video. But I hope this has been really helpful, and I just wish you all the very, very best. And if you're watching this, you're struggling, and it just breaks my heart. God, I'm so emotional about it. I want to help you. And I feel your pain if you're hurting, because I know how stressful it is. I have not actually ended up homeless, but I've been very close. And even just if you're somewhere that you just hate, it's just so hard. And I totally get that. So I wish you the very, very best. And like, subscribe, leave me comments, suggestions on topics, and tell me your story too. I just wish you the very, very best. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm so emotional. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.